Hello, Dr. James Bogash, expert in health and longevity, and today we're going to talk about the liver, which is a mildly important organ that we should treat as nicely as possible. And just some things as far as terminology goes, used to be called NASH, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, then it was NAFLD, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, fatty liver. Now we've called it metabolically associated steatotic liver disease. It's all the same thing. It's a pre-diabetic expression in the liver. So to give you an idea of how incredibly bad this is for us, I remember reading a study 10, 15, 20 years ago, looking at children who were diagnosed with, at that time it was NASH. Well, like it wasn't even in my textbook when I went to school that kids had. It was considered rare. Well, in this case, it was like 13 kids who were diagnosed with NASH had like a 1,300% higher risk of being put on getting a liver transplant. It was just not good outcomes. And the sad thing is that these are almost entirely preventable. So before I get into some of the details and why liver function tests aren't really liver function tests and why your standard lab might actually be a problem, make sure you like this video, share it with somebody you think needs the information, and subscribe to the channel. So before we get into this study, a few other than terminology, housekeeping things, and that is, we've always looked at, like, the initial screening for fatty liver. It can be done in a normal lab test. You can look for different liver enzymes, like ALT is a big one, and gosh, I remember reading 10 years ago that even having, forget elevated, above halfway of normal already increased your risk of developing fatty liver. So I don't like to see those liver enzymes being elevated above halfway, even within the top range of normal. That's already a warning sign when you combine it with other things that we look at. The other thing about this being a liver function test, it's not a function test. Certain enzymes are produced in higher amounts in certain cells. So in particular, like ALT is found in higher amounts in liver cells. So when they die, they spill their contents out into the bloodstream, and then the ALT levels will go up. If you're looking for dead cells, it's not function anymore. So it's the misnomer that's always kind of irritated me. By the time those liver cells, those enzymes are elevated, we got big problems. So in this was a study done out of China looking at 15,000 or almost 15,000 people. And they looked at certain protein biomarkers to see if they could determine who later would be diagnosed with MAFLD. And they found that with an 81% accuracy, looking at 5 different proteins, they could actually predict who was going to develop. Guess what? We don't need anything fancy. It's a pre-diabetic scenario, and if you've got liver enzymes, even at the halfway part of normal, if your A1C is high, if your lipids are off, you're at risk. Like, we don't need anything fancy. And you need to be living an diabetic lifestyle. Like, that's the bottom line. Diabetes, this is a pre-diabetic scenario. For some reason, it happens to others to affect people's livers more, but it is a pre-diabetic scenario, which is absolutely under your control, unless maybe you were exposed to, like, Agent Orange in Vietnam. That was a nasty effect on people's risk of diabetes. So, short of that, it's lifestyle. So, as always, I will post a link to this particular study in the description. Make sure you like this video, share it with somebody you think needs the information, and subscribe to the channel.